According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, a person with a master's in healthcare administration can expect to earn a median annual salary of over $100,000. And now, York University offers an opportunity for you to earn this fully accredited degree completely online. The Masters of Healthcare Administration will prepare individuals for professional management positions within healthcare institutions and knowledge of healthcare management systems, health policy, and public health. Go to online.york.edu and ask about special offers for the first 100 students accepted into the program. Don't wait. Apply today at online.york.edu and join one of the first initial cohorts in their way to earning a Master's of Healthcare Administration. Welcome. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
You and I personally are familiar with each other, but this is the first time that we'll get to do big, long-form conversation.
Know all the details.
All the details. And I was trying to think back to it. I don't know when our formal introduction was, but you were one of the delivery nurses for my wife and I's first child.
I was. Yes, I was. Such a fun time.
And you were incredibly bright and pleasant and reassuring. Not that all the nurses weren't.
Right.
Actually, that's not true. One nurse who did like the first bath, and our little baby who's a few hours old is just like crying, and she was like, "Oh hush!" And I was like,
"You're like, this is new for her.
She just
came out."
So she rather intimidated me for that first time experience.
It's hard when it's your first one too.
Yes, it's your first one. But you definitely made the experience much better. So I kind of feel like that's one of our original introductions. I'm sure we'll get into the fact that our spouses have been working together for a bit.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about this also, and we can kind of jump in and speak to it from the beginning. So my wife and I, both babies that she's delivered have been here in York.
Yes.
And I found it to be fantastic. Before we had our first child, with some friends were like, we're going to go to a bigger city hospital. And there was that sort of a mentality. And I didn't quite understand why. And when we had our children, we had incredible nurses like you. We had what felt like almost a celebrity private wing, just because there's not a bunch of people having babies.
Right? You're not kicked
out.
And
so I really I felt so comforted, so safe, so secure. Like we had everything we needed there at York with the staff that was there and the facilities that were there. And so do you find that you've had to convince some people like, hey, small town hospitals like York can do this job perfectly well?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like that's what you said. A lot of people think I'm going to go bigger and it's going to be better. I'm going to go, to Lincoln and they have everything. We have everything here. And I feel like you get more of a personal experience because a lot of the times you will get your same nurse that you had for delivery might be your nurse the next day and might discharge you the day after. So I just think you get that more personal one-on-one, and it's people that you know from the community where you go it's kind of like the York University feel, like everybody's kind of like a little family.
Yeah.
So I'll go out, go to the grocery store and I'll be like, oh, I delivered that baby. And it's like just seeing them kind of grow up. I've been a substitute school nurse. So seeing some of those kids come in, I'm like, well, I was there when you were born. And it's just kind of a cool, that small town feel. But we absolutely have everything. I feel like, people get hung up on, well, what if something goes wrong? But a lot of times, we're doing the deliveries that are lower risk. So we can kind of weed out some of those high risk problems that do need a bigger hospital. But we absolutely are capable of doing deliveries and providing that great care here. And that's kind of what I love about York in general.
It's such an intimate shared experience. And like you said, we see each other outside of the delivery room, and then it really demonstrates that it takes a village kind of community. I feel like Elsie, our daughter, in kindergarten last year, she was in class with the lactation consultant's child. You know what I mean? And we're like, oh, hey,
I know you.
And so it's
kind of growing through that journey together.
Yeah.
And you just kind of,
and I found it to be not baffling. And everybody has their own, medical needs, emergency things, all those pre-existing conditions and things to be cognizant of, and doctor recommendations, totally different story.
Right.
But just to actively choose, I'm going to reject the quote small town
Right. Yep.
delivery environment just for a bigger one. I felt like a breeze.
Right. And a lot of times, we have one we spread them out a little bit. We try to.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, you might be the only patient there. And it is, like you said, like it's like a VIP. Like you get one-on-one care with your nurse, and that's the mom and the baby nurse. And you kind of just get that specialized treatment
Exactly.
in a sense. So, yeah, I've been working there for 9 years in July. So
Okay, 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about the journey to that position. What is your title currently? How did you get there? Why did you get there? What's the origin story of Nurse Jordeyn?
So I am a labor and delivery nurse at York General. Like I said, I've been there for 9 years. Personally, I was actually born at York General. So that's kind of just a cool fact. So now I've been working there, and that's just, like I said, just that small town kind of, I love it. I was born and raised here. I graduated from York High School a few years ago. Getting a lot bigger
You've
now.
only been a nurse for 9 years. High school, maybe 5 years ago.
The math doesn't really add up, but I promise it does. So I graduated, and then I moved on to Omaha for school after high school. Did 2 years at UNO, and that was kind of eye-opening, the big Omaha city after living in York for so long. So I spent 2 years at UNO with my prereqs, and then I did 2 years at UNMC with their nursing program, and graduated there. I actually met Tree in a roundabout way. We just had friends. He obviously went to York moving from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And we had mutual friends that introduced us after I graduated high school. So I was living in Omaha, and he was living here, and it was like our paths just kind of crossed. So he's kind of, with his basketball stuff, has moved me around a little bit, but we always come back to York. So we moved back in 2015. I started at York General in 2016 after my oldest was about 6 months old, and I've been there ever since. So I love labor and delivery, women's health. That's my passion. With York General, we are a critical access hospital, so you kind of get to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So I actually split my time. I do half time in labor and delivery and half time in utilization review, which is not fun.
It sounds inspired.
That's the labor and delivery is what fills my cup. But the utilization review has been nice just with kids' schedules because it's an office type position, dealing with insurances and authorizations and
that makes sense.
That kind of stuff. So it's the beauty of small town hospital is you get to do a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
So, I mean, there's days I might, go back to the ER and help, or if I don't have patients, I kind of just floating around and doing a little bit of everything. So, but yeah, I've been there. I'm just, right now I'm a staff nurse in the labor and delivery department, and like I said, utilization review, and I just have stayed there. York General's always been great to me, and so we love it here.
Where did the inspiration, when did you know this was a career you were going to be interested in?
So my cousin, I don't even know how old she is now. She was born, I think I was like 10 years old, and I just loved babies from a get-go. So when she was born, I was like, nope, that's what I want to do. I want to be a nurse, and I'm going to take care of babies. And that's just kind of been, even through school, I just kind of always knew I wanted to do, either whether it was going to be NICU, labor and delivery, something, newborn nursery, something dealing with babies. So I kind of did my preceptorship and whatnot on a postpartum unit, and that's kind of just been what I've done.
Wow. And I love hearing that so much. I think it's really easy in society to attribute some, like a child instinct turn career to be a bit more on that like athletic side, right? Like you can see your kid is fast or can throw the ball. You're like, he's always been able to do this. Or with a talent, like, you've been good at drawing since you could finger paint. Yeah. But to hear that something that was an instinct that's just within you, that is always been flowing through you and a part of your essence as a person, then translated into a career path where you can find yourself contributing and being fulfilled and seeing that come to fruition. That's a really special thing. And so you knew all through, so graduating here from York High School and then doing prerequisites at Omaha, even then all through college, you knew like, okay, this is going to be building towards
Yeah. I was just always
career.
like, I'm going to be a nurse. Like, I'm going to take care of people. I guess that's kind of in my essence. That's what I like to do. It's just even from being a mom and being a nurse, I just kind of like to take care of people. So I always had that deep down that's what I'm going to do. And I never really, I know you hear people that go to college and they're like, oh, I'm going to change my career 15,000 times. Nope. Yeah. I always knew I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to nursing school and I'll be a nurse.
Wow. So. And then, so paths have always led back to York.
Correct. Yep.
Has that always been on the agenda, or
no.
Going through other times in young adulthood, has it been maybe?
When I graduated high school, it was like that. I'm getting out. Like, I'm never going to live there again. Like, I've lived there for my whole life. Like, I'm going to go on. I'm going to go to the big cities. I'm going to do this. And, especially once we got married and had kids, I'm like, York is great. It's safe. You got a good community. Like, it has everything you need. Like, that's just always pulled us back. Just that connection too. Like, we've had times where we're like, okay, yep, we're gonna go do this, and it's like God just kind of always brings us back. So it's we've had opportunities to leave, and there's something just always kind of anchors us here. So
and then
I'm thankful for that. But
doors opening to ways out, but then. It seems like, with your family specifically, there's almost like just when the pendulum is about to swing you away from York, there's a reason why you don't have to go. And so here you are.
It's always worked out that way. It's been crazy ever since Tree got the head coaching job here, 7-8 years ago. Yeah. Because we were almost about ready to move to Omaha. Literally, he had signed a contract with the school system, and then it was like, okay, well, Coach Jill's moving on. So do you want this job? And we're like, well, how could we turn that down? So it's been, there's been several of those scenarios, and this is just the place we're meant to be.
Yeah, and we can talk about him a little. I'll sit down with him at some point. So last year in particular, this past school year was, at least for the time being, I'm not going to project what you and your husband and family are going to do. But last year was a year of talk about your job of taking care of people. So your job as a nurse at York General, your job as a mom with your children. And again, your son's the fastest child I've ever seen. And so I can't even imagine wrangling them when they're at full momentum. What a beast.
He's a lot.
In the best ways possible.
Right?
Super fun. I see him racing on the playground, and I'll stop. I'll pause before I pick up my daughter to be like, there he goes.
There he goes, yep.
Why did somebody challenge him? And so working your job, being a mother, being in your first year of grad school, pursuing your Master's of Healthcare Administration, but also last year was another year, the final year presently of coach's wife job.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Which is a huge job. Granted, it seems like most of the things you end up finding yourself in, you have a capacity for self-sacrifice for the preservation of others, and that's a way that you can use your gifts to serve. And that seems like that comes out. Does that same kind of mentality translate as a coach's wife? It's really challenging.
It is. There's a lot. It's, the games, the practices, the travel. It's a lot to balance. So it's all about coordinating and being willing to be kind of flexible and just kind of go with it. We are a sports family, so we always just kind of turned into like, this is just what we do. Like we go to sports game, we travel, we might take a little vacation, we're going to go watch dad's game. Like that's just kind of, we are just always, I think our family's just super supportive of each other and kind of knowing, and that's been a thing going into my schooling. Tree just has been super supportive of, okay, yes, I need this time to go write a paper, and like this is what we're doing in this stage of our life. So yeah, coach's wife is no joke. It's especially balancing everything else, but we just kind of always have made it work.
That's what it is. Bailey and I, we did the parallel coaching for about 10 years, and last year was our first year of me not being a coach, and so me being coach's wife myself. And this year, it's so funny because she's looking at kind of her first year where she can run a practice without children being at the practice. Not just our own children, but some of her students' children. There was like always a baby. For the past 6 years, there's been a baby on the cheer mat that people have had to avoid kicking. And she's down an assistant this year. And my first instinct is to be like, oh, well, can I help? I'll even listen to whatever directions you want me to give. I'll stand and help people spot.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I think my job is to get the kids out of your hair while you coach.
Yep.
And so it's hard when you have some of those competitive instincts and that sports past and those things you want to contribute in certain ways, but the way that you can best contribute is being on that sideline, being that face in the crowd with the kids, not only knowing that you're there to be supportive of him, his team, their goal, but also that, he hears his kids, he sees your face and hears your cheers and things. And like, that's been, I know, such a special aspect of it. How much are you ready to relish and embrace a year where that's not what it looks like with him not being the head basketball coach?
So. No, I think we've gotten to a point where our kids are older now. They're 9 and 7 and they're doing their own things. Yeah. So it's been, that is kind of one of the biggest things that drew him to, I don't know, maybe coaching is getting too much for me right now because he was missing our kids' things. So we're still going to be in that element sense, but just kind of more spectators.
Cheering for shorter people.
Exactly. Yeah. And I joked, I said, well, I don't ever have to watch a game with you, so you might have to sit over there because I don't know if I can deal with your craziness from the sideline up here. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a change, but I think it's going to be a good change. I told him he's probably going to have to find some hobbies. Yeah. He's going to be at home a lot more, which is going to be, it's just a change for everybody, but change is good.
And we're talking about 30, 40, 50 less people that you're going to have in your house life of other people that mouths to feed and people to take care of and things. Do you feel like that'll be, are you hopeful that it'll be a bit of a breath of relief, or because of how much you are willing to care for others, do you think that you're going to need a hobby of even more people?
Maybe. We were talking, because this will be our first Thanksgiving where we don't have, at least 20 extra people at our house. So I'm like, what's it going to be like to make one turkey? Like, this is going to be like, I don't know how to make small scale sides and whatnot. So I think there's going to be definitely some just kind of quiet times more so. But, in his position now, though, I think we'll still be having student relationships and whatnot, and probably still having people over, maybe just on a smaller scale. But that's definitely something that we've talked about. It's just going to look a little different, but to find our new normal. And my son loves just the basketball team, so I'm assuming we'll still be making those connections and whatnot with them, and he'll still be around.
That's exciting. Such a big change.
It is.
But just reflecting on what last year was for you, how was the transition into going back to school, taking on grad school? It's such a hard leap with a lot of the adults who then make a choice to start pursuing their master's degree. They get back in and they see school again, and it's just, you can't help but almost have those like 14-year-old first day of high school butterflies of like, oh no, can I do this? Yeah. And it almost has nothing to do with your intelligence, capabilities, work ethic. It's mostly, can I do this again? Yeah. And am I ready to feel like a student again? Because I've spent my whole life feeling like a professional and a mom. And so how was that transition for you last year?
It's been fine. I mean, it was definitely, I hadn't been in school for 10 years. Yeah. So like getting back, I think APA might be the death of me. But getting back into that swing and, just getting a routine has been fine now that we figured it out. And I think the beauty of the program is I can do it from anywhere. Yeah. We were literally just in Houston for the Junior Olympics, and I was doing my homework on the car ride down. Writing some papers, doing some discussion boards on the way down, and just kind of still able to do, like, it hasn't burdened, obviously, our personal life and, like, held me back from being able to still do the things that I need to do. So that has been great. Like you said, it is still school, so it was
Yeah.
just definitely like an eye opening. Like, oh yes, I do have to write papers again and do that. But it has been, it's been a good transition. The program's been great. I feel like the classes I've been in, I've been able to apply them to my job and be even like, oh, hey, like this would work. We should do this. We can make that. So I think it's useful. When I decided to go back, Tree was kind of the biggest push. Like, why don't you just do it? Like, this is a new program. Like, just see what it does. And I don't really, I guess, have a plan for what I'm going to use it for right now. Because, like I said, I love my job. And, if God leads me to an administrative position at some point, I'll have this in my back pocket. But it has been just professionally developing me, I feel like, in a sense, to be a better nurse even and help my department even more than I was doing previously.
That's incredible. I wish that more people had the support, because that's what that first push is what it takes. Because my wife just finished the master's degree last year too, and I remember class 1 jitters, if you will, and lots of other support from people here at York, and it requires support of, hey, you can just jump in the deep end.
Yep.
And you know how to swim, I promise. And then once you get into that routine, then it's something that you can do habitually and feel comfortable with. So that support is required, but also a non-specific vision for how is this going to serve you, I think is almost more helpful. It's really nice because, you don't have to have a 10-year plan for after you get a Master's of Healthcare Administration, then which job are you going to do and drop this and take that. But this is an education.
Yep.
And you get to learn things that then you can apply and that benefit you and that just fill up the wisdom that you get to combine with your work experiences to a different kind of textbook approach that, you didn't get, during nursing school stuff. It's just a different approach to things to learn. And so, that's what I was going to ask about. So you weren't necessarily inspired to, I'm dead set on trying to change a new position.
No.
You wanted to pursue it to just add to the acumen of your healthcare.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something applicable to my job. Like I said, I've taken things already and been like, hey, should we change how we do this just based on this? I think, healthcare administration kind of gets a bad rap because it's like, oh, it's the people that don't do the patient care, and I think just kind of bridging that is important. Like I said, it's not like I have my eyes set on some specific position or something, but I think being a nurse for 10 years, I've seen many different administrative styles and some that, I loved and would love to embody and some that I'm like, oh, maybe I would have done that differently. So just getting this background and this education, I hope to kind of use that in the future, whether that's, just staying where I'm at and, like I said, implementing changes into our department that I learned things through the course through, and it's kind of going from there. God will lead me where He wants me to be.
Right.
So
That's incredible. That's so exciting. I have loved getting to hear about your journey to knowing that you were here to be a nurse and to serve. And and though I technically was your counselor and enrolled you into class last year, I didn't quite know what the motivation was. And so it's refreshing to hear that the motivation is not a desperate need for a career change, but simply I can add this education to hopefully make me a better nurse, but just build up my knowledge of healthcare and how I apply it. That's really special. We're excited to see the cohort grow. Is this going to be something that nurses will want to do? Is this going to be something that business types will want to do? But to hear from a true nurse that it was appealing and you've found it valuable is really exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, to seeing you apply it later down the road once you finish.
Me too.
We got one more year.
One more year.
Halfway
through, yes.
Then you get to graduate again too.
I got to graduate, I know, and we can both be York University grads.
Exactly. There you go. That's a full
alumni
circle.
Together, right?
You never thought you were going to be a York University grad when you went off to be a Maverick.
I didn't. Nope. Sure didn't.
Finally.
Here we are.
Panther full circle.
I came all the way back.
You've done it. Well, that's really special. It's been really nice getting to hear your background, getting to hear your story, and you talk about your cup being filled with the job that you do and the way that you get to serve. And I won't speak too much to the specifics of your faith background, but we talk about our community, this university, the mission of the university, and those Christian values just making up who we are in this village that we help raise our children in together, and we support each other through. And so that's a really special thing to know that you also get to extend that kind of love and care even in your job too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's enviable and something that a lot of people are searching for, and it's just so special that it's something that you get to execute day in, day out.
Yes.
That's
thankful
incredible.
for that. I am.
Well, I like to end it on so the school year is starting. It's athlete check-in today
It is.
as we record this for York, which doesn't apply to you now.
Well, he's still there.
He's still there.
He's still there. He's
still
in a
there.
new role.
But
so
but they might not end up at your house
they're not,
today.
Right. We're not going to have 20 people at the house.
But so it's a busy day here at the university. I know that, there's no not busy season for you as far as the hospital goes. But as we kick off the school year time, changes, finishing our last year of grad school, whatever the motivation be, if we had the fruit of the Spirit as if it were a bowl in the middle of the table, and you could just take one or two with you to leave out the door with, you don't even have to have a true explanation. What do you think you would want to take with you today?
I think just as a nurse, and I would probably go with kindness, just because it's something, I preach to my kids going into school, every avenue, whether you're at the grocery store, at school, if you're in class, like just treating people with kindness. How you treat people affects how they feel. So I think that's something big that I've always, try to emulate in my career path and in my personal life, and trying to teach my children, you may not be rich in money or these monetary things, but like being rich in people and how you treat them is something that I really try to push through to the care that I give, the treatment to other people that I do, and how I kind of raise my kids. So kindness is a really big.
Kindness.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Kindness.
Well, thank you so much. And once you're an alum and you graduate, we'll have to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you and Tree.
we can have a marriage podcast.
Oh,
That's exactly what you want, right?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me.